Chapter 1. Clara. You're going to San Diego. I stare at Brandon. He's my boss, my direct supervisor, yet he always springs things on me at the last minute. He stares back. Neither of us speaks. Then I slowly lower the spreadsheet I've been pretending to work on. I'm sorry? Brandon smiles. That smile, the one he uses when he's about to hand somebody else a problem. San Diego. The client meeting? I blink. The client meeting that's tomorrow? That's the one. The one you've been preparing for 3 weeks? Exactly. I wait. He waits. Something is wrong. Very wrong. Because Brandon has spent the last 3 weeks telling everyone within hearing distance that this account is the most important project he's handled all year. He has also spent the last 3 weeks doing almost none of the work. Guess who did the work? Me, of course. I'm the only Omega on the team, which makes me an easy target. Most companies won't even hire Omegas, let alone give them a marketing assistant position. Brandon knows that he can make me do anything by dangling a carrot in front of my eyes, telling me he'll recommend me for promotion to the marketing strategist role. Advancing in my career has always been my dream, but at 30 years old, it's starting to look like it'll never happen. I glance at the clock. It's 10:30 in the morning. Then I glare back at him. Why am I going? Brandon leans back in his chair. I have a personal matter. I stare at him. A personal matter? Yes. What kind? His smile tightens. Personal. Right. Of course, the magical category of excuse that apparently outranks every professional obligation. I know better than to ask. Brandon has been my manager for 2 years. He's perfected the art of assigning work without appearing to assign work. He delegates. That's what he calls it. Everyone else calls it dumping. I thought you were presenting. I was. I've had to make some adjustments. I look at the presentation open on my monitor. My presentation, my research, my campaign ideas, my revisions, my client notes. Brandon's name is at the top. Mine isn't. Again. Clara. I look up. Yes? I need you to go. There's no other choice. You know I can't leave this to anyone else in the department. There it is. Not a request. Not really. Just another task sliding down the corporate food chain until it lands on the person least likely to complain. Me. I take a slow breath. Okay. Brandon's smile returns. Great. I knew you'd understand. I almost laugh. I understand plenty. I understand that he doesn't want to go. I understand that he has somehow turned a personal appointment, which probably means a date with his newest sugar baby, into a business emergency. And I understand that I'm about to spend the next 2 days cleaning up a mess I didn't create. What I don't understand is why I agreed so quickly. Maybe because part of me is curious, because this isn't an ordinary client meeting. By the way, Brandon says, you won't be going alone. The marketing director will be going with you. Ophelia Hart, I ask, shocked. I'm glad you remember her name, Brandon says sarcastically. I'm meeting Ophelia Hart, the only female marketing director, the woman everyone is afraid of. And, unfortunately for my professional dignity, I've been fascinated by her for months. Not because she's the marketing director. Not entirely. I like women in power. There, I admit it. I'm attracted to women who walk into rooms and make people pay attention. Women who know what they're doing. Women who don't apologize for taking up space. Women who can look at a senior executive and say no without their voice shaking. Ophelia Hart is apparently all of those things. I've never spoken to her for more than 30 seconds. That hasn't stopped my imagination from doing overtime, unfortunately. I gather my notebook. Brandon is already turning back to his computer. Flight details will come through. Of course. And Clara, I pause. Yes? Make sure everything is ready. I look at him. He looks at me. I smile. Don't worry. His shoulders relax. I won't. I return to my desk. The moment I sit down, my coworker Jess rolls her chair closer. Her eyes are enormous. "You're going with Ophelia?" I glance around. 3 other heads have already turned our direction. Apparently, this office has the subtlety of a theater audience. Apparently. Jess lowers her voice. "Are you insane?" "I don't think so. People come back from meetings with Ophelia changed." I raise an eyebrow. "Changed how?" "Quieter." Another coworker, Nina, leans over the divider. "More organized." Someone behind us adds, "Terrified." A few people laugh. I smile despite myself. "She's not that bad." Everyone stares at me. I look around. "What?" Nina shakes her head. "You've never actually met her." "That's true." "Then don't say that." Jess leans closer. "Do you know what happened to the East Coast campaign?" I shake my head. "Ophelia killed it." "Why?" 10 minutes. I wait. 10 minutes of what? Meeting. Jess lowers her voice dramatically. She looked at the campaign for 10 minutes and asked 3 questions. And the entire thing was scrapped. I blink. "That's impressive." Jess looks offended by my reaction. "You're supposed to be scared." "I might be." "You don't sound scared." "I'm intrigued." Nina laughs. "That's worse." Another coworker joins in. "She remembers everything." "What does that mean?" "Everything." He points at me. "She'll remember something you said 6 months ago." "That's probably useful." "Not when she remembers you said something stupid." I laugh. Jess shakes her head. "She can tell when someone hasn't read their own report." "How?" She asks 1 question. And if you don't know the answer, you're finished. I look down at my notebook. Interesting. Very interesting. Nobody seems to know that this is exactly the sort of woman I admire. Competent, controlled, difficult to impress. I find myself wondering what she thinks of people, what she notices, whether she can tell when someone is nervous, whether she notices when someone is pretending to know something, whether she notices me. That last thought makes my stomach flutter. Ridiculous. I haven't even met her properly. I return to my computer. "Nobody survives an unprepared presentation with her," Jess says. "I'll prepare." "You really aren't afraid." "I didn't say that." "You smiled." "I smile when I'm terrified." That's not reassuring. Before I can answer, the entire section of the office goes quiet. Not gradually, instantly. It's strange, like someone flipped a switch. I look up and see that someone has walked in. It's her. Ophelia Hart has entered the workspace. Oh, I understand now. The rumors didn't adequately prepare me for how gorgeous she looks. She's tall. Not impossibly tall, just enough that she seems to rise above the room. Her dark auburn hair is pulled into a sleek, low ponytail. Her suit is deep navy. Simple, perfectly fitted. No unnecessary jewelry, no flashy accessories, just a watch and a pair of small gold earrings. Her expression is composed. Not cold, controlled. There's a difference. Cold people don't care. Ophelia Hart looks like she cares about everything. She's simply selective about what deserves a reaction. Her eyes move across the room. People straighten. Conversations disappear. I watch her walk toward us. My pulse starts beating faster. Then I catch her scent. Sandalwood. Something warm beneath it. Bergamot. Amber. My omega instincts respond before my brain does. My shoulders loosen. My breathing steadies. The strange thing is that I don't feel more nervous. I feel safer. That makes absolutely no sense. She's an alpha, a powerful one with a scent that's overwhelming even from so far away. A woman everyone in the building is apparently terrified of. And somehow her scent makes me feel like everything is under control. I hate how much I like it. Ophelia stops beside my desk. Her eyes settle on me. Clara Bennett? My heart stops. Actually stops for approximately 1 full second. I look up at her. Yes? She studies me. Not rudely, just carefully. I need a word. My coworkers disappear into their screens with astonishing speed. I stand. Of course. Ophelia turns. I follow her. Every step feels too loud. She leads me toward one of the smaller conference rooms. The glass door closes behind us. Suddenly, it's quiet. Just her, me, and the faint scent of sandalwood hanging in the air between us. Ophelia gestures towards the chair. Sit. I sit. She takes the chair opposite me. She doesn't open her laptop. She doesn't look at her phone. She simply looks at me. I have never been so aware of my own posture. Brandon told me you're coming with me tomorrow. Yes. Why? I hesitate. Because he has a personal matter. One eyebrow rises. I immediately regret speaking. I see. The 2 words contain an entire opinion. I look down to hide my smile. Ophelia notices. You find that amusing?
No, you smiled. I do that when I'm nervous. I've noticed. My head snaps up. You have? The corner of her mouth moves. Barely. You're not very difficult to read. Wonderful. I'm already embarrassed. And we've been alone for approximately 90 seconds. She reaches for the printed presentation. I've reviewed the material. I nod. Okay. I have questions. Sure. She asks one. I answer. Another. I answer that too. Another. Then another. The questions aren't complicated, they're specific. She wants to know why we chose one audience instead of another, why we changed the campaign's tone, why the final presentation emphasizes one part of the proposal. I explain. She listens. Actually listens. Not the way Brandon listens. Brandon listens while waiting for his turn to talk. Ophelia listens like she wants to understand. There's something almost unnerving about it. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't look bored. She doesn't glance at her phone. When I finish answering, she simply nods, "You know this campaign very well." "I worked on most of it." Silence. I realize what I just admitted. Ophelia's gaze sharpens. Most? I swallow. Yes. How much is most? I glance at the presentation, then back at her. I did the research, the first draft, the revisions, the client notes, and most of the presentation. Brandon? He reviewed it. Reviewed it. Yes. She leans back. Her expression gives nothing away. I immediately start wondering whether I've said too much. Maybe I should have defended him. Maybe I should have lied. Maybe I should have... Why is his name on the front page? My mouth goes dry. He's my manager. That wasn't my question. I look at her. There is no accusation in her voice, just expectation. So I tell her the truth. Because he's the manager. Ophelia's eyes stay on mine. Then she looks down at the presentation again. I see. Something about the way she says it tells me she sees much more than that. She closes the folder. You should have been in the meeting from the beginning. I stare at her. Nobody has ever said that to me. Not like that. Not as though it were obvious. Not as though my absence had been the mistake. My chest tightens. Thank you. She gives a small nod. Then, unexpectedly, she says, Come on, I'll buy you coffee. Ever been to the cafe downstairs? I blink. What? Before we leave, I have more to ask you, and I need coffee. I suspect you do too. Oh, yeah. She watches me. Is that a problem? No. Good. I stand. She stands too. For a moment, we're facing each other across the table. I suddenly become painfully aware of the height difference, the confidence, the strength, the calmness in her eyes. She opens the door. Come on. I follow. We walk toward the elevators. The doors open. We step inside. The doors close. And suddenly, we're alone. The elevator begins descending. I stand beside her. Not too close, definitely not too close. Then Ophelia shifts slightly. Her sleeve brushes my arm. My entire body notices. My omega instincts practically sit up and pay attention. And then her scent reaches me again. Stronger here, contained inside the elevator. Sandalwood. Warm amber, something clean and steady beneath it. I breathe in before I can stop myself. My shoulders loosen. My thoughts quiet. For the first time all morning, I don't feel like I'm being thrown into a business trip I didn't ask for. I feel safe. Safe beside her. Which is ridiculous, because Ophelia Hart could probably make an entire conference room panic by looking at it. But standing beside her feels different. Like being near someone who knows exactly what she's doing. Someone who would handle the problem if something went wrong. Someone strong enough that I wouldn't have to pretend to be. I glance at her. She's looking straight ahead. I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder if she noticed my breathing in her scent. I wonder if she thinks I'm incompetent. I wonder if she thinks I'm attractive. The last thought arrives without permission. I immediately hate myself for having it. Ophelia turns her head. Our eyes meet. I look away. Too late. Her mouth curves slightly. You seem nervous around me. I swallow. There is no point in lying. You're intimidating. Her mouth twitches. Good. The elevator doors open. I step out beside her and realize with absolute certainty I'm doomed.
Chapter 2. Clara. The cafe is quieter than I expected. Maybe because everyone in the building knows Ophelia Hart is here, or maybe because I'm projecting. Probably the second one. I follow her through the glass doors and immediately realize something important. Ophelia Hart is not a normal person. Normal people look at menus. Ophelia looks at the menu for approximately 3 seconds. Then she looks at me. What do you want? I blink. Coffee. I assumed that. Then why ask? Her eyebrow lifts. I'm trying this thing called conversation. I stare at her, then laugh. The sound escapes before I can stop it. Ophelia's expression changes, just slightly, like she's surprised she managed to make me laugh. Iced latte. Anything in it? Vanilla. She nods. Anything else? No. Food? I'm fine. She gives me a look. What? You said that very quickly. I'm not hungry. That wasn't the question. I smile. I'm really not hungry. She studies me for another second, then turns toward the counter. 1 iced vanilla latte. She pauses. Large. I look at her. Large? You'll need it. I'll need it. You've been awake since early this morning, you're traveling tomorrow, and you apparently do the work of 2 people. I stare. She looks completely serious. Then adds, possibly 3. I laugh again. This is not what I expected, at all. Ophelia Hart is supposed to be terrifying. She is supposed to be the woman who makes senior executives question every career decision they've ever made. Instead, she's standing in front of a coffee counter, arguing with me about caffeine. It's disorienting. She takes her coffee black, which I predicted. No sugar, no cream, no nonsense. I watch her take the cup from the barista. She turns to me. Here. I take mine. Thank you. She nods toward a small table near the window. We sit. For a few seconds, neither of us says anything. Outside, people move along the sidewalk. Cars pass. The city hums around us. Inside, everything feels strangely calm. I take a sip. Ophelia watches me. What? Nothing? You're staring. I know. That makes me laugh. She looks almost pleased with herself. You're very honest. I thought you'd like that. I do. The answer is immediate. Something warm moves through my chest. I take another sip of coffee. I need to stop reading meaning into everything she says. Unfortunately, my brain refuses. She likes honesty. Does that mean she likes me? No, obviously not. She means professionally. Probably. Definitely. Unless... No. Stop. I look out the window. So, I say, desperate to change the subject, do you always drink your coffee black? Usually. Why? She looks down at her cup.
Because I'm bitter. I choke on my drink. Ophelia's mouth twitches. That was a joke. I know. You looked horrified. I was impressed. By my humor. By the fact that you tried. She stares at me. I immediately realize what I've said. Then she laughs. Quietly. It's barely more than a breath. But it's real. And I think I might like that sound more than I should. Careful, Clara. Why? Because you'll damage my reputation. I'd hate to do that. Everyone worked very hard to build it. I smile. I heard. She takes another sip. I study her over the edge of my cup. This woman is different outside the conference room. Not completely. She's still composed, still confident, still carrying herself like she knows exactly where she's going. But there's something softer around the edges. Her shoulders aren't quite as rigid. Her expression isn't as severe. She seems human. I don't know why that surprises me. Maybe because people talk about her like she's some corporate myth. Ophelia Hart.
The Ruthless Alpha. Nobody talks about the fact that she apparently makes terrible jokes about coffee, or that she keeps glancing at my cup to make sure I'm actually drinking it. I wonder how many people ever bother to notice those things. I realize I'm staring again. Ophelia catches me. Something on my face? No. Then why are you looking at me? I hesitate. Because you're beautiful. Obviously, I can't say that. I was wondering something. What? Do you ever get tired of everyone being afraid of you? She considers that. Sometimes. The answer surprises me. Really? People tend to tell me less when they're afraid. I nod slowly. That makes sense. I'd rather people tell me the truth. I look at her. I think you're intimidating because you expect people to know what they're doing. Is that unreasonable? No. I smile. Just terrifying. She gives me a look. You're still here. Unfortunately. She smiles. It's small, barely there, but I see it, and something inside me shifts. I don't just admire her anymore. I like her. That realization arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, but once it settles, I can't pretend I don't know. I like the way she talks. I like the dry humor. I like that she listens. I like that she noticed my work. I like that she remembers my coffee. And I like the way her presence makes some deep, instinctive part of me feel safe. That last one scares me, because I don't usually feel safe around alphas. Not because they've hurt me, because most of them eventually want something from me. A relationship, a family, children, a quieter life. A life that looks suspiciously like giving up my own. A male voice interrupts us. Ophelia? Her entire expression changes. It's subtle, so subtle I almost miss it. Her shoulders straighten. The little softness disappears from her face. Her jaw tightens. I turn. A man is approaching our table. He's in his late 50s, and he's wearing an expensive suit. His silver hair is combed back. The kind of person who probably has a reserved parking space and expects people to know it. He smiles broadly. Well, I haven't seen you in ages. Ophelia's voice is polite, controlled. Martin? Martin pulls out the chair opposite us without asking. I heard you were flying out tomorrow. Yes. Still working yourself to death, I see. Ophelia takes another sip of coffee. I've survived so far. He laughs. Still sharp. His eyes move toward me. And who's this? Clara Bennett. Martin nods. Marketing? Yes. Assistant. I nod. Interesting. Something about the way he says the word makes my stomach tighten. He looks back at Ophelia. So you're taking assistants on trips now. Clara worked on the account. Of course she did. I don't like that tone. Not at all. He leans back.
You've come a long way, Ophelia, although I'm surprised you're still at director level. Silence. I feel it immediately. The air changes. Ophelia's fingers tighten slightly around her coffee cup. Just once, a tiny movement, but I see it. Martin doesn't. Or maybe he does. 15 years here and still no VP title. Ophelia's voice is quiet. I've been busy. Yes, you certainly have. He chuckles. You've always worked harder than everyone else. Something about the way he says it makes it sound like an insult. Still, there comes a point when working hard isn't enough. My stomach twists. Ophelia looks at him. Martin smiles. You know what I mean. You don't have a degree. They're not going to promote you, no matter how competent you are. Ophelia's expression remains perfectly still, but I can see it now. The tension, the slight stiffness in her shoulders, the way her thumb presses against the coffee cup. She looks like someone trying very hard not to react. Martin continues.
You've done remarkably well without a degree. Remarkably well. Like she's some fascinating exception. Like she's lucky to have made it this far. I feel anger rising in my chest. Not for myself, for her. And I barely know her. Martin glances at me. You should take notes, Clara. I look at him. Notes? Hard work is admirable. He smiles. But credentials matter. I don't know what to say. Thank goodness he stands to leave. I'll let you two get back to it. He pats Ophelia's shoulder. She doesn't move. Good luck, Tuaro. Thank you. He walks away. I watch him disappear through the doors, then look at Ophelia. She's staring at her coffee. I don't know what to say. I've never been good at pretending not to notice things, and I noticed. Everything. The tension in her jaw, the stiffness in her shoulders, the way she didn't look up until Martin was gone. I take a breath. Are you okay? I'm fine. The answer is immediate. Too immediate. Did he insult you because he said you don't have a degree? She looks toward the window. I don't like discussing this. Okay. I leave it there for about 5 seconds. Then I say, but you don't deserve that. She looks back at me. The silence stretches. I suddenly worry I've gone too far. I didn't mean... I know. Her voice is quieter now. I wait. She takes a slow breath. My parents left me at an orphanage. I freeze. What? She looks down at her coffee. I was very young. I don't know what to say. Ophelia Hart, the alpha everyone fears, the woman who can walk into a room and command it. Abandoned. She continues before I can respond. I spent most of my childhood there. My chest aches. Why weren't you adopted? Her eyes lift. I don't know. The answer is simple. That's what makes it worse. I was an alpha, she says. People usually want alpha children. I swallow. But nobody chose you? Her expression tightens. No. The word is barely audible. I feel something inside me crack, because suddenly all those rumors seem ridiculous. The ruthless director, the terrifying alpha, the woman who never makes mistakes. She's also the little girl nobody came back for. I look at her differently now, not with admiration, not just admiration, with something softer, something painful. She continues. I started working after school when I was old enough. Doing what? Whatever paid, she shrugs. Cleaning, deliveries, reception work, retail. She says it casually, like she's listing errands. I learned quickly. I can tell. Her eyes meet mine. I didn't have a degree, so I had to become better than people who did. I understand that sentence more than she probably realizes.
I look down at my hands. I'm an Omega. People don't exactly expect great things from us. I know. Sometimes I feel like no matter how hard I work, someone will always think I'd be better off getting married. Ophelia's expression softens. Because you're an Omega. I nod. You know what it's like when people decide what your life should look like before they know you. My throat tightens. Because she's right. Completely right. And suddenly, I understand why I was drawn to her before I ever spoke to her. It wasn't only because she's powerful. It wasn't only because she's beautiful. It wasn't even because she's an alpha. It's because she understands what it's like to be underestimated, to have people look at you and decide your limits before you've had the chance to prove them wrong. I smile faintly. I think that's why I like working with you. Ophelia's eyebrow rises. You've worked with me approximately 4 hours. Exactly. She laughs. A real laugh this time. Warm, quiet, beautiful. I can't help smiling. She shakes her head. You're strange, Clara Bennett. Is that bad? No. She picks up her coffee. I think I like it. My heart gives one hard, traitorous beat. I take a sip of my latte, trying desperately to look normal. It doesn't work. Ophelia watches me. The corner of her mouth lifts, and for the first time since she walked into our office this morning, she doesn't look like the terrifying marketing director everyone whispers about. She just looks like Ophelia. And somehow, I think I like her much better this way.
Chapter 3. Clara. Airports are designed to make people miserable. I'm convinced of it. The lighting is too bright, the coffee is too expensive, everyone is either rushing somewhere or standing directly in front of the departures board as though staring harder will make their flight leave sooner. And yet, somehow, I don't mind any of it this morning, because Ophelia is standing beside me. We're waiting at the gate. She's holding 2 coffees. She hands one to me. I look at it, then at her. How did you know? She looks genuinely confused. Know what? My order. She raises an eyebrow. You told me yesterday. I did? Twice. Oh. She studies me. You're forgetful. I'm nervous. About the flight? She nods. Good. I laugh. Why is that good? Because I was starting to think you were nervous because of me. My face warms. She smiles. I hate that she notices everything. We board a few minutes later. We're sitting beside each other. I stare at the seat assignment, then at her. Did you arrange this? No. Are you sure? I don't manipulate airline seating charts. That's exactly what someone who manipulates airline seating charts would say. She gives me a sideways look. I'll remember that. I smile. Please don't. She settles into her seat. The moment the plane takes off, I feel myself relaxing, partly because flying doesn't bother me, mostly because Ophelia is beside me. Her scent is faint at first, then stronger once the cabin doors close. Sandalwood, amber, warmth. My Omega instincts settle almost immediately. It's strange. I've never understood the idea that an alpha's scent could make an Omega feel safe. Now I understand it perfectly. I look out the window. Clouds stretch beneath us. The city disappears. For a while, neither of us speaks. I expect the silence to be awkward. It isn't. Ophelia seems perfectly comfortable with quiet. I glance at her. She's looking through the window too. You like flying? I like looking down. At what? Everything. I smile. That's surprisingly philosophical. Don't spread it around. I turn toward her. What do you do when you're not terrifying people? Watch old movies. I blink. Seriously? Yes. Black and white ones? Mostly. I didn't expect that. What did you expect? Something involving spreadsheets. She looks offended. Spreadsheets are my professional life. They aren't my personality. Could have fooled me. She smiles. And you? I take photographs. What kind? Anything interesting. Buildings, people, beaches. You like beaches? Very much. Anything else? Trying local food, exploring new cities. She nods. Then maybe you'll like San Diego. Maybe? We might finish early. And? Her eyes meet mine. We could see some of it. I smile. Are you suggesting sightseeing? I'm suggesting that you shouldn't spend your entire trip inside a conference room. I grin. I thought you were going to make me work. I might. There she is. She laughs, then turns back toward the window. I catch myself smiling. The conversation ends there. It doesn't need to continue. Somehow, it feels like we've already learned something about each other, and I like that, more than I should. The meeting ends early. Not just early, much earlier than expected. I sit beside Ophelia as the client shakes our hands and thanks us for the presentation. I'm still processing what happened. We actually did it. The client agreed. The campaign is moving forward. The deal is ours. I look at Ophelia. She looks calm. Of course she does. I'm practically vibrating. Once we're outside, she turns toward me. You were excellent. I blink. Me? Yes, Clara, you. I smile. Thank you. You knew the material. You handled the questions. You didn't panic. I wanted to. I know. I laugh. She gives me a small smile. We nailed this deal. My chest fills with something warm. This is an important client for the company. I know. But what she says next matters more. You should be proud of yourself.
I don't know why those 6 words hit me so hard. Maybe because I don't hear them often. Maybe because I know how much work went into this. Maybe because for once, someone isn't treating my contribution like background noise. I smile. Then, before I can think better of it, I blurt, "We should celebrate." Ophelia looks at me. I immediately regret speaking. Then she says, "I agree." My heart jumps. "I'd like to take you to lunch." "Oh, my treat." "Oh." She watches me. "Are you always this eloquent?" "Only around intimidating women." Her mouth curves. "Good to know." And suddenly, I'm smiling again. The restaurant is near the water. Ophelia apparently listened when I mentioned beaches. I look at her. "You seem to have really listened on the airplane." She takes her sunglasses off. "I told you I remember everything. I have a great memory." I smile. Lunch is unexpectedly easy. We talk about the city, the food, the client. Then the conversation drifts away from work. I tell her about my favorite places to photograph. She tells me about an old movie she watched last weekend. I make fun of her taste. She informs me that my opinion is invalid because I haven't seen it. I promise to watch it. She says she'll hold me accountable. I'm not sure why that makes my heart flutter. After lunch, she asks, "Do you still want to see the beach?" I don't hesitate. Absolutely. So we walk, and somehow the woman who terrifies half our company spends the afternoon walking beside me in the sunshine. We take our shoes off, walk along the sand, stop at a little place near the beach for drinks. Ophelia tries something with fruit in it. She takes one sip, makes a face. I laugh. "What's wrong?" "This is terrible." "You ordered it." I was deceived. By whom? The menu. I laugh so hard I nearly spill my drink. She watches me, smiling, and I realize I haven't felt this happy in a long time. We walk again. The ocean stretches beside us. The afternoon is warm. Eventually, we lie down on the sand. I stare up at the sky. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think 30 is old?" Ophelia turns her head. "Absolutely not." I laugh. "You answered that very quickly." "Because it's an absurd question." "Not where omegas are concerned." Her expression changes. She sits up slightly. "What do you mean?" I pick at the edge of the towel. "In society, people start treating omegas differently around this age." "How?" "Like you're running out of time." I sigh. Marriage, children, finding an alpha, settling down. Do you want that? I look at her. No. The answer is immediate. I've known it for years. I've rejected several marriage proposals. Ophelia looks genuinely surprised. Several? Yes. Why? Because I didn't like them. And they only wanted me because I was an Omega who could have children. She nods. Fair. I smile. But that's not the only reason. She waits. I take a breath. I don't want to become someone's dependent. Her expression softens. I want my own career, my own money, my own life. You should. I've had people tell me I'm making things harder than they need to be, that Omegas cannot advance in a corporate career because they're never picked for higher positions over alphas or betas. My family and friends keep telling me I should marry a rich alpha and have an easy life.
Being married to someone who wants to oppress you isn't an easy life. I know, but people think just because someone will spend money on me and keep me in material luxury, it can be a substitute for them respecting my choices and me as a person. Ophelia looks out toward the ocean. Independence isn't something a woman should have to apologize for. I like independence too. Who doesn't? Something in my chest tightens. I look away, because suddenly I understand something. This woman gets me, really gets me, and that is far more dangerous than finding her attractive. I can handle attraction, I can ignore attraction, I can survive a crush. But liking someone, trusting someone, wanting to know them, that's different. I turn onto my side. Ophelia is watching me. What? Nothing. You're staring. I know. I smile. I see. So are you. Maybe. My heart stutters. I laugh nervously. You're getting bold. I blame you. For what? Encouraging me. I shake my head. You're impossible. So I've been told. We both laugh. The sound mixes with the waves. For a few minutes, everything is perfect. Warm sand, blue sky, ocean air. Ophelia beside me. I close my eyes. And then my stomach twists. I open them again. Something feels wrong. At first, I assume it's the heat. Then, nausea rolls through me. I sit up. My heart begins pounding. No, not now. I know this feeling, the sudden warmth, the heaviness, the strange ache beginning low in my body, my instincts waking up. My breath catches. Oh God, no. I look at Ophelia. She's already sitting up. Clara? I swallow. My hands start trembling. I know exactly what's happening. My heat isn't supposed to start for another week, at least. I had calculated it, planned around it. I thought I had time. Apparently, my biology didn't receive the schedule. Ophelia's expression sharpens. What's wrong? I can't answer immediately. My face burns. My heart races. The ocean suddenly feels very far away. I whisper the only words I can manage. I'm going into heat. And the moment I say them, I realize something much worse. I'm nowhere near home, and the only person with me is the alpha I've been trying very hard not to fall for. Chapter 4. Ophelia. I'm going into heat. For 1 second, I don't move. I just look at Clara. Her face is pale, her hands are trembling, and her scent changes completely. The warm, familiar Omega scent I've been noticing all afternoon suddenly floods the air around us. Sweet, rich, overwhelming. My body reacts before my mind catches up. My heart pounds. My blood rushes hot through my veins. Every alpha instinct inside me wakes at once. Protect her. Get her somewhere safe. Keep her comfortable. Don't let anyone near her. I take a slow breath, then another. I have never experienced anything quite like this. I knew I was attracted to Clara. I realized that yesterday. Somewhere between her telling me about being an Omega in a world that constantly tried to decide her future for her, and the way she smiled when I thought I was being ridiculous, I stopped thinking of her as merely an impressive employee. I liked her, personally. That much was obvious. But this is different. Her pheromones are turning every protective instinct in me to maximum volume. I force myself to remain calm. Clara looks terrified. "Hey," she looks at me. "You're okay." Her eyes are already shining with panic. I'm not supposed to go into heat yet. I know. I calculated it. I believe you. It isn't supposed to happen. I know. She takes a shaky breath. I don't have anything with me. That's fine. Ophelia. Clara. My voice comes out firmer than I intended. She goes still. I soften it immediately. We'll handle it. I'm with you. You're not alone. Her shoulders drop slightly. I take off my jacket. The afternoon breeze has picked up, and Clara is beginning to shiver. I drape the jacket around her shoulders. There. She looks down at it. You'll be cold. I'm an alpha. She gives me a confused look. What does that have to do with anything? Apparently, I become very stubborn when I'm worried. Despite everything, her mouth twitches. Apparently, I smile. Fine, extremely stubborn. She takes another shaky breath. I crouch in front of her. Can you stand? She tries. Her knees wobble. I catch her immediately. Her hands grip my arms. The contact sends another rush through me. Her scent surrounds me. My instincts practically roar. They want to touch Clara in forbidden ways, make her mine so that she always knows I'm her alpha. But I don't let them make decisions for me. Easy. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. I keep doing that. I've noticed. She gives me the smallest smile. There she is, still Clara, even when she's frightened. I help her stand. Let's get you back to the hotel. She nods. I keep one arm around her as we walk, not because she can't walk, because she shouldn't have to manage this alone. The hotel isn't far, but every step feels too slow. Clara keeps looking around. Do people know? No. Are you sure? Nobody is paying attention. We reach the hotel. I speak to the front desk. She's unwell. We need the room prepared for her. The receptionist looks at Clara, then at me. Of course. I give her the room number. Please send up extra blankets, bottled water, and some cold packs. Certainly. And have room service bring dinner, something healthy, appropriate for a sick person. Clara looks at me. I'm not sick, and you don't have to spend my money on room service. I know. I turn toward her. I'm doing it anyway. She looks strangely touched. We take the elevator upstairs. This time, I don't think about how close we are. I think about whether she's breathing comfortably, whether she's still trembling, whether her face is too warm, whether she needs anything. When we reach the room, I unlock the door. Clara steps inside, then stops. She looks around. I realize what she needs before she says anything. Do you want the curtains closed? She nods. I close them. The room becomes dim and quiet. Better? Yes. But I need a nest. I'll help you. I set my bag down. Then I start arranging the bed. Extra pillows, blankets, one beneath her head, another beside her. I build a comfortable little nest without making a big deal of it. Clara watches me. What? You're very good at this. At making beds?
Taking care of people? I pause. I've had practice. I don't explain. Not yet. I grab a bottle of water and hand it to her. Drink. She takes it. A few sips. More. She looks at me. Are you always this bossy? Yes. I order room service. Something simple. Soup, toast, fruit. Nothing too heavy. While we're waiting, I fill a small basin with cool water from the bathroom and bring it back with a clean towel. Clara looks at me suspiciously. What are you doing? Cooling you down? I can do that. Not in your current state. Let me do it for you. I wet the towel, wring it out, then gently place it across her forehead. Her eyes close. I watch her relax. Better? Much. I sit beside the bed. Not too close, close enough. A few minutes later, room service arrives. I bring the tray inside. Clara looks at it. You ordered enough food for 6 people. I ordered enough food for 1 Omega who is in heat. Your body needs nourishment at this time. I had lunch. That was before you went into heat. You need more food so your body can get through this. I move the tray closer. Try the soup. She looks at me. You sound like someone's mother. I raise an eyebrow. Do I? Very much. That's concerning. She smiles weakly. You're like a mama bear fussing over her cub. I laugh. I don't think I've ever been compared to a mama bear. You're fussing over me. You keep checking my temperature. I haven't checked your temperature. You're thinking about it. I can't argue with that. Clara takes another spoonful of soup. I watch her carefully. The sight does something strange to me. I like taking care of her, more than I expected. There is something deeply satisfying about making sure she's comfortable, about knowing she needs something and being able to provide it. My instincts are still intensely focused on her scent, her warmth, her vulnerability. But beneath all of that is something quieter, something more personal. I care about her. Not because she's an Omega, not because her heat has triggered something biological in me. I cared before this. This only makes it impossible to ignore. Clara sets the spoon down. I think you're enjoying this. I look at her. Enjoying what? Taking care of me. I don't answer immediately, because she's right. I am. Her cheeks turn pink. I reach for the towel and replace it with another cool one. She closes her eyes. Ophelia? Yes? Does this bother you? I know what she means. The heat, her scent, the situation. No. She looks relieved. I continue before she can misunderstand. Right now, with your Omega hormones triggering every alpha instinct I have, I feel very much like a protective, possessive alpha. Her eyes widen. I smile gently. But that doesn't mean I get to make decisions for you. She looks at me for several seconds, then whispers, Thank you. I brush the cool towel lightly across her forehead. You're welcome. Eventually, she lies down. I pull the blankets over her. She looks exhausted. Try to sleep. She nods. I stand. I'll be downstairs in my room. Her eyes open. What? I'll give you some privacy. I turn toward the door, then feel a small tug on my shirt sleeve. I stop. Look down. Clara's fingers are curled around the fabric. Her expression is vulnerable. Don't go. My heart aches. Please. Her voice is weaker this time, but I can feel her neediness through her tone. I sit back down. What do you need? She hesitates, then whispers, Your scent helps. My chest tightens. She looks embarrassed. I know it's probably strange. It's not. I feel calmer when you're near me. I look at her. For someone who spends so much of her life insisting she doesn't need anyone, Clara looks incredibly vulnerable right now. And somehow, I understand. I've spent most of my life doing the same thing, pretending I don't need anyone, pretending independence means never wanting comfort. It doesn't. Sometimes strength is simply knowing who makes you feel safe. Do you want me to stay? She nods. Could you... She stops. I wait. Could you hold me? The question is so quiet I almost don't hear it. My heart squeezes. Of course. I move carefully onto the bed beside her. She hesitates for a moment, then shifts closer. I wrap an arm around her. She settles against me almost immediately. Her breathing begins to slow. Like this? She nods. Then, after a second, she whispers, "Could you spoon me?" I smile. Yes. I shift behind her, one arm around her waist, the other beneath her pillow. I keep enough distance to make sure she can move freely. Clara relaxes against me. Her shoulders finally loosen, her breathing steadies, and her scent fills the space between us. My alpha instincts settle. Not disappear, settle. Because she's safe. She's warm. She's here. I lower my chin near her hair. Better? Much. She sounds sleepy. Thank you. I hold her a little more securely. She falls asleep slowly. I feel the exact moment her body gives up its tension. Her weight settles against me. Her breathing becomes soft and even. I stare into the darkness, and something inside me feels impossibly full. I have spent my entire life chasing something: security, respect, success, proof that I belonged. I thought if I worked hard enough, if I became good enough, if I built something nobody could take away from me, I'd finally stop feeling like the unwanted girl from the orphanage. But sitting here with Clara in my arms, I realize something. Maybe a life isn't complete because you've finally proven yourself. Maybe it's complete because you finally have someone you don't have to prove yourself to, because they already know how brilliant you are. I look down at her. Clara, the Omega everyone expects to settle, the woman who keeps fighting to build a life on her own terms. I understand her. More than I expected. We're different, but we're also strangely alike. Both underestimated, both judged before they're known, both forced to prove that our worth isn't determined by the circumstances we were born into. My arm tightens gently around her. I don't know what tomorrow will look like. I don't know what happens after this heat ends. I don't even know what Clara will think when she wakes up and realizes she spent the night in my arms. But tonight, none of that matters. Tonight, she's safe. And for the first time in a very long time, so am I.
Chapter 5. Clara. I wake up slowly. For a few seconds, I don't remember where I am. Then I feel the warmth behind me, the arm around my waist, the steady breathing near my shoulder, and everything comes rushing back. The beach, my heat, the hotel, Ophelia. Oh, God. I close my eyes again. Maybe if I don't move, I can somehow reverse time. It doesn't work. Good morning. My eyes fly open. Ophelia's voice is calm, completely normal, like I didn't spend the entire night wrapped in her arms, like I didn't beg her to spoon me because her scent made me feel safe, like I haven't just experienced the most humiliating 24 hours of my life. Morning? My voice sounds terrible. Ophelia releases me immediately and sits up. How are you feeling? I stare at her. Embarrassed? She gives me a look. Physically. Oh, I think about it. Better. Good. She gets out of bed. I watch her walk toward the curtains. She opens them slightly. Sunlight spills into the room. I pull the blanket over my face.
Can I stay here forever? No, I groan. That was very quick. You have a flight. I was hoping you'd say yes. I know. She looks back at me. Breakfast? I lower the blanket. You ordered breakfast? Of course. You've been awake long enough to order breakfast? I woke up early. Why? She pauses. Because I always do? Of course she does. Ophelia Hart probably wakes up before sunrise, conquers 3 continents, and reads a business report before most people find their socks. I sit up. She hands me a glass of water. Drink this first. I take it. You're still doing that? Doing what? Fussing. I'm making sure you're hydrated. Same thing. She smiles. Drink. I do. A few minutes later, breakfast arrives. Coffee, toast, fruit, eggs, something warm that smells incredible. I stare at the tray. You ordered enough food for 6 people again. You're exaggerating. Am I? Possibly. I smile. She hands me my coffee. Vanilla latte. I stare at it, still touched that she remembers my coffee order like that's normal. My chest does that strange flutter again. I take the cup. Thank you. We eat quietly for a while. The strangest thing is that I don't feel awkward. Not completely. Ophelia isn't acting as though anything unusual happened. She's not pitying me. She's not avoiding my eyes. She's not treating me like I'm fragile. She's simply taking care of me, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Eventually, I put my fork down. Ophelia? Yes? I'm sorry. She looks up. For what? I gesture hopelessly. Everything. Her expression changes. Clara. I wasn't supposed to go into heat. I know. I ruined the trip. You didn't. I made you take care of me. I chose to. I made you sleep in my bed. You asked me to stay. That's worse. She actually laughs. I cover my face. This is humiliating. Why? Because you're sitting there looking completely normal. I am normal. You held me all night. Yes. You don't think that's strange? No. I lower my hands. She looks directly at me. Your biology isn't something you need to apologize for. Omegas go into heat whenever your body chooses to. It's not a deliberate choice, and I'm not going to treat it as if it was one. This was out of your control. I don't know why that makes my throat tighten. She continues. And you didn't ruin anything. Really? We secured the account. I nod. That's true. You were excellent yesterday. I look at her. What? You were impressive. The words hit differently this time, because she isn't saying them to make me feel better. She's saying them because she means them. My chest warms. You handled yourself well. I smile. Even though I almost fainted on the beach? That was after the meeting. Right. Your timing was unfortunate. I laugh. That's one way to describe it. She smiles. And suddenly I realize something. She doesn't see me as a problem. She doesn't see me as an Omega who had an embarrassing biological episode. She sees me as Clara, the woman who did the work, the woman who helped win the account, the woman she apparently likes. That matters, more than I can explain.
At the airport, I expect us to separate. Instead, Ophelia hands me my boarding pass. I look down, then look again. What's this? Your seat. I stare. Business class? Yes. I look at her. You upgraded me. Yes. Why? She looks genuinely puzzled by the question. Because you worked hard, and I want you next to me so I can make sure you're okay after your heat. That's not a reason to put me in business class. It is when I'm paying. I'm not letting you pay for this. You already tried that argument yesterday. And? And I ignored you. I glare at her. She looks amused. I can't accept this. You can. I'll reimburse you. No. I insist. So do I. I cross my arms. You always get your way, don't you? Usually. That's terrifying. I sigh. She smiles, then nods toward the gate. Come on. We board. Our seats are beside each other. I settle in and look out the window. The flight attendant offers us breakfast. Ophelia declines. I accept. She looks at my tray. You're hungry. Apparently. Good. I smile. You really do like taking care of people. She looks at me for a moment. Maybe. The answer is quiet. Something about it makes my heart beat faster. I turn toward the window before she can see my face. The next morning, I'm back at work. Everything looks exactly the same. Same desks, same computers, same fluorescent lights, same people pretending not to listen to everyone else's conversations. But I feel different. Maybe because I know something nobody else knows. The terrifying marketing director has a surprisingly gentle side. She held me all night, and she likes me. At least, I think she does, because I'm sure I like her. I spend the entire day trying not to think about that last part. It doesn't work. When 5 o'clock finally arrives, I shut down my computer. I stand, then stop. Someone is standing in the lobby. Ophelia. My heart immediately starts racing. She's waiting near the reception desk, still in her work clothes, still perfectly composed. She sees me, then walks toward me. Clara? Hi. Do you have a minute? My heart beats harder. Yes. I'd like to talk to you. About work? She pauses. No. That somehow makes me more nervous. She gestures toward the doors. Would you have a drink with me? I stare at her. A drink? Yes. Like socially? That's usually what drinks are. I laugh nervously. Right. Her expression softens. Only if you're comfortable. That makes my heart flutter even more. I'm comfortable. Good. We leave together. The bar is quiet. Exactly what I need. We sit in a corner booth away from everyone else. I stare at my drink, then at Ophelia, then back at my drink. Finally, I can't stand it. I made things complicated because of my heat, didn't I? No. Ophelia's voice is firm. I put you in an uncomfortable position. No. You had to take care of me. I wanted to. I look at her. She holds my gaze. I didn't bring you here to discuss your heat. My stomach flips. Then why? She takes a slow breath. Because I wanted to talk to you about something personal. I wait. She looks nervous. I've never seen Ophelia nervous before. Not really. It makes my heart ache. I like you. My entire brain stops. What? She gives a small, almost embarrassed smile.
I like you. I have romantic feelings for you. I stare at her. Me? Yes. But I know. She looks down briefly. I know this is complicated. She looks back at me. I like your competence. My heart pounds. Your independence. I swallow. Your humor. I smile despite myself. You think I'm funny? Occasionally. I laugh. There she is. Her smile grows. Then she becomes serious again. I felt something between us. I can't speak. She continues. And I don't think it was just your heat. My cheeks burn. It wasn't. I know. Her voice softens. I knew I liked you before that. I stare at her. She takes a breath. I know you want a career. I nod. I know you don't want marriage. Another nod. And I'm not asking you to change either. My eyes sting unexpectedly. I don't want to turn you into some corporate wife. She shakes her head. I don't want ownership. Her eyes remain fixed on mine. I don't need you to belong to me or marry me or even move in with me if you want to have your own place. My throat tightens. I just want to be with you. I don't move. Dinner. She smiles faintly. Travel. My heart is pounding now. Someone to talk to. Someone to share my ups and downs with. I stare at her. She reaches across the table, stops before touching me, giving me the choice. I don't need a label if you don't want one. I don't need you to fit yourself into some relationship structure that diminishes your individuality. My eyes fill with tears. No alpha has ever said that to me. I mean it. You'd really be okay with me working? Yes. Even if my career comes first sometimes? Yes. Even if I never want to get married? Yes. She smiles. Although I reserve the right to complain if you make me eat dinner alone every night. I laugh through the tears. You're impossible, I've been told. I look at her hand, then at her. Then I realize something. Yesterday, my body chose for me. Today, nothing is choosing for me. No heat, no hormones, no instincts forcing me toward anyone. Just me, Clara. And I want her. I reach across the table, take her hand. She looks at our fingers, then at me. I lean forward and kiss her. It's soft, brief, completely conscious, completely mine. When I pull back, Ophelia is stunned. I smile. I'd like to date you. Her expression breaks into the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. Good. That's all you have to say? She squeezes my hand. I was trying not to look too pleased. You failed. I know. I laugh. And for the first time, I don't wonder whether Ophelia chose me because I was an Omega. I know why she chose me. She chose Clara, and I chose her back.
Chapter 6. Ophelia. Dating Clara is surprisingly easy. Keeping it secret is not. The first problem is coffee, specifically the fact that I now know exactly how Clara takes hers. Vanilla latte, large. No matter how many times I tell myself I'm simply being considerate, I keep finding myself ordering one for her before she arrives. Our first secret coffee date happens on a Tuesday morning. We meet at a cafe 3 blocks from the office. Not because we have to, because we want to. I arrive first, 2 coffees in hand. Clara walks through the door 5 minutes later, sees me, and smiles. That smile is becoming a problem. A serious one. You're early. I've been here for 6 minutes. Exactly. She takes the coffee from me. She sits across from me. You're still intimidating. I bought you coffee. Terrifyingly generous. I laugh. She grins. I realize I could get used to this, which is dangerous because I've spent most of my adult life avoiding getting used to people. People leave. People disappoint you. People decide they know better. Clara doesn't seem interested in doing any of those things. She simply sits there, drinking her coffee and making fun of me. I like it, more than I should. Our relationship develops quietly. A message from Clara appears on my phone during a meeting. Clara, you look terrifying today. I glance across the conference room. She's sitting 3 seats away. I type back beneath the table. Ophelia, today? Her shoulders shake. She's trying not to laugh. A second later, Clara, fair point. I bite the inside of my cheek to stop myself smiling. Another message appears. Clara, you looked terrifying yesterday too. I reply, Ophelia, you're very brave for someone sitting within arm's reach. She looks up. Our eyes meet. She smiles. I look back at my presentation. It's ridiculous and wonderful. I have never understood people who send messages to someone sitting in the same room. Now, I am one of them. Apparently, love makes fools of everyone. I start bringing Clara lunch. She complains every time. You don't have to feed me. I know. You keep saying that.
Because you keep saying I don't have to. She opens the container. Her eyes widen. You made this? Yes. You cook? Occasionally. She takes a bite. Then another. I watch her. She smiles. This is good. Thank you. Really good. I heard you the first time. She takes another bite. You're going to have to accept that I'm impressed. That sounds difficult for you. She looks at me. You have no idea. I smile. Then she points her fork at me. You know, you're much less intimidating when you're making lunch. I disagree. No, you're adorable. I stare at her. She freezes, then slowly lowers the fork. I said that out loud. You did. Forget it. Absolutely not. She groans. I laugh, and the sound surprises both of us. I don't laugh much. Not genuinely, but Clara keeps finding ways to make it happen. She comes to my apartment one Saturday. I make dinner, she brings dessert. I discover something important. Clara cannot cook. Not even slightly. She insists she can, then nearly burns the dessert. I rescue it. She watches me. You enjoy this. What? Being competent. I do. She smiles. That's why I like you. I pause. She seems to realize what she said. Then shrugs. I mean it. I look at her. I like that you like me. Her cheeks turn pink. I wasn't finished. Oh? I also like your face. I laugh. My face? Very much. I lean closer. And what else? She smiles. Your terrible jokes. Those are excellent jokes. They're terrible. You keep laughing. Because I'm being polite. Of course. She reaches over and steals something from my plate. I catch her wrist. Thief. Your food looked better.
It's the same food. Yours tasted better. I let her go. She smiles. I realize that my apartment has never felt this warm. On weekends, we explore museums, bookstores, little restaurants, markets, places neither of us has visited. Clara takes photographs of everything. Buildings, street performers, coffee cups. Me, especially me. Stop taking pictures of me. No. Why? You're pretty. I give her a look. You've taken 12 photographs. 13. Clara. She laughs. I try to look annoyed. I fail. Sometimes she catches me laughing. Those photographs are my favorites. I don't tell her that. Not yet. The first time someone dismisses Clara at work after we start dating, I nearly lose my patience. We're in a meeting. A senior manager asks for ideas. Clara offers one. He doesn't even look at her. Let's let someone more experienced handle that. I see Clara's expression change, just slightly. Her confidence disappears. Something inside me goes cold. I look at him. Actually, let's hear her out. He looks surprised. I continue. Clara has worked on this account from the beginning. He opens his mouth. I don't let him speak. She understands the client better than most people in this room. Silence. Clara looks at me. I look back at her. Go ahead. She does. And she's brilliant. By the end of the meeting, the senior manager is taking notes. Clara sits a little straighter. I feel absurdly proud. Not because she's my girlfriend, because she's Clara, and she deserves to know exactly how capable she is. A few weeks later, I put a job description on her desk. She looks at it, then at me. No. I blink. You haven't even read it. I know what it is. Do you? You're recommending me for promotion for the strategist role. Yes. You want me to apply. I do. I staked my name for this. Too bad. She shakes her head. No. Why? Because everyone will think I gave it to you. I lean back. Nobody knows we're together at work. You underestimate the office grapevine. We may have been dating in secret, but I'm sure the security guard is onto us. You look cute when you're being paranoid. I grin, making Clara blush.
I don't want anyone thinking I slept my way into a promotion. My expression hardens. Then don't give them the opportunity to say it. She looks at me. How? Earn it. She is quiet. I slide the job description closer. Don't apply because I'm asking you to. I meet her eyes. Apply because you can do the job. She looks down. Then back at me. What if I don't get it? Then you try again. And if I fail? Then you learn. She smiles faintly. You make everything sound simple. It isn't simple. I reach across the desk. But you're capable. She looks at the application, then finally picks it up. Fine. Good. But if I get this, you owe me dinner. Deal. If I don't get it, you still owe me dinner. I smile. Also a deal. She earns it. Of course she does. The interview panel asks difficult questions. She answers them. They challenge her. She pushes back. They give her a case study. She solves it. She gets the position on her own. I don't hear the news from HR. I hear it from Clara. She bursts into my office without knocking. Her eyes are shining. I got it. I stand. You got it.
She nods. I got it. I smile. I knew you would. She laughs. I was terrified. You didn't look terrified. I was pretending. I couldn't tell. That's because I'm excellent. I laugh. There she is. She walks toward me. I hold out my arms. She steps into them. I wrap her up. For a moment, I simply hold her. Then I pull back. I'm proud of you. Her eyes soften. You really mean that? Completely. She smiles. I kiss her, softly, briefly. Then I rest my forehead against hers. Congratulations, Clara. She laughs. You knew I could do it. I did. You didn't even doubt me. Not once. She wraps her arms around me again. And I realize something. For most of my life, achievement meant proving people wrong, proving that the girl from the orphanage belonged, proving that I deserved my position, proving that I could succeed without the education everyone else thought mattered. But now I get to watch someone I love prove something to herself. Clara doesn't need me to save her. She doesn't need me to hand her anything. She doesn't need an alpha to give her a life. She simply needed someone to tell her what I already knew, that she was capable. She did the rest. And as she smiles against my shoulder, I realize that might be the most beautiful thing I've had the privilege of witnessing.
Chapter 7. Clara. I know something is wrong the moment I see Brandon standing beside my desk. He's holding a folder. That is never a good sign. Clara. I look up. Yes? Can we talk? I glance around the office. People are pretending not to listen, which means everyone is listening. About... He smiles. Your new position. My stomach tightens. What about it? Congratulations, by the way. His voice is too sweet. Thank you. You must be very pleased. I am. Especially considering how close you've become with Ophelia. There it is. I go still. Brandon looks around, then lowers his voice. I just think it's important that everything is transparent. My heart starts pounding. What exactly are you implying? I'm not implying anything. He smiles. I'm simply saying that people talk. People always talk. Of course. He taps the folder against his palm. I'd hate for you to be caught in something unpleasant. Then he walks away. I stare after him. My hands are cold. I know exactly what he's doing. And somehow knowing doesn't make it hurt less. By lunchtime, the rumors have started. I hear my name twice, Ophelia's name 4 times. The words promotion, relationship, and favoritism keep appearing in conversations that suddenly stop whenever I walk past. I try to ignore them. I really do. But then someone says, apparently Clara only got the strategist position because Ophelia likes her. I stop walking. My chest tightens. I turn around.
The woman who said it immediately looks away. I keep walking, because if I stop every time someone underestimates me, I'll never get anywhere. But the words follow me, all afternoon. By 5, I can barely concentrate. Then my phone rings. Human Resources. Ms. Bennett? My stomach drops. Yes. We'd like you and Ms. Hart to come to a meeting tomorrow morning. I grip the phone. Is there a problem? We'd prefer to discuss it in person. Of course they would. I hang up. For several seconds, I just sit there. Then I look toward Ophelia's office. She's inside, working, completely calm, completely unaware that my entire world has just tilted sideways. I stand, then stop. No, she'll know soon enough. The next morning, I sit beside Ophelia in the Human Resources conference room. Our hands are on the table, not touching. We're working. We're professionals. But I'm shaking. Ophelia notices. Without looking at me, she moves her hand closer. Our fingers brush. Then she takes my hand. My throat tightens. I look at her. She squeezes once. I'm here. That's what the gesture says. You're not alone. The Human Resources Director opens a file. Thank you both for coming. Ophelia nods. Of course. We've received concerns regarding your relationship. My face burns. I look down. The Human Resources Director continues. We understand that Ms. Hart is not Ms. Bennett's direct supervisor. That's correct, Ophelia says. However, you're both within the same department. Yes. We have no indication that the relationship itself violates company policy. I breathe again. Just slightly. But the reporting structure creates a potential conflict. I grip Ophelia's hand tighter. My mind immediately jumps to the worst possibility. They'll fire her, or me, maybe both, because of me.
Because I couldn't keep my feelings out of work. Because I fell in love with my boss. I feel tears gathering. Ophelia's thumb moves slowly across my knuckles. The HR director continues. Our recommendation is that Clara move into the strategy division under a different reporting structure. I blink. What? You would retain your strategist position. I stare at her. You wouldn't lose the promotion? No. The relief comes so quickly it almost makes me dizzy. However, you would no longer fall within Ms. Hart's direct organizational chain. I nod. That makes sense. It is reasonable, professional, clean. Then I look at Ophelia. She looks completely calm, but I know her now. I can see the tension in her jaw. I know she hates that this has happened, because of me. My eyes fill. I'm sorry. Ophelia immediately turns toward me. Don't. But, Clara, her voice is firm, not angry, never angry at me. You have nothing to apologize for. I wipe my cheek. I've damaged your career. Her expression changes. Absolutely not. I should have been more careful. I knew this could happen. We're adults who liked each other. I was aware of the consequences, and I still wanted you. She squeezes my hand. That's not a crime. The HR director clears her throat. For clarity, the company is not disciplining either of you for being in a consensual relationship. We want to prevent favoritism, conflicts of interest, and uncomfortable situations for both of you. That makes sense. I breathe slowly. Then the HR director opens another file. There's another matter we'd like to address. I look up. Regarding the original client account? My stomach drops. What about it? We reviewed the project records after Mr. Cole raised concerns about the promotion. I freeze. Ophelia's expression becomes very still. The HR director continues. The records indicate that a substantial amount of the work attributed to Mr. Cole was completed by you. My mouth opens. No words come out. He raised concerns about favoritism, the HR director says, but the documentation suggests that your promotion was based on work you had already been performing. I stare at the table. Brandon. He tried to use my relationship with Ophelia against me and accidentally exposed himself. The HR director closes the file. We'll be reviewing Mr. Cole's management practices separately. Ophelia's hand tightens around mine. I can't help it. I laugh. It's tiny, almost hysterical. Ophelia looks at me. I whisper, "He did this to himself." Her mouth twitches. I believe so. The meeting ends with my promotion intact. My new position will be in strategy. Different reporting line, different office, same company, same career, and apparently the same girlfriend. We step into the hallway. I immediately start crying. Not loudly, just tears slipping down my face. Ophelia turns toward me. "Hey." I shake my head. "I'm sorry." She takes both my hands. "Stop saying that." "I was so scared." "I know. I thought they were going to fire you." "They didn't. I thought I'd ruined everything. You didn't." She steps closer. "Clara, look at me." I do. Her eyes are soft. "I chose you." My breath catches. "I chose to fall in love with you." She brushes a tear from my cheek. "And I'd choose you again." "Even if it hurts your career?" "Yes." "Even if people talk?" "Yes." "Even if they think you made a mistake?" She doesn't hesitate. "I would pick you over status and prestige every time." My chest aches. "Ophelia." "I spent my entire life chasing prestige because I thought it would finally prove that I belonged." She squeezes my hands. "I don't need that anymore." I start crying harder. She pulls me into her arms. I bury my face against her shoulder. "I love you." The words come out muffled. She freezes. Then her arms tighten around me. "I love you too." I close my eyes. For a moment, the entire office disappears. No rumors, no HR, no Brandon. Just her. I pull back enough to look at her. "If they had fired us both..." She raises an eyebrow. "Yes?" "We could start our own marketing agency." She laughs. "You'd be the strategist, and you'd be the terrifying CEO. I'd be an excellent CEO." "I know." "We'd make millions. Probably." She smiles. "And we'd have terrible office coffee. Obviously." I laugh. Then she leans down and kisses me. It's gentle, warm, nothing hurried about it. When she pulls away, she keeps holding my hand, and suddenly I realize something. Maybe this isn't the end of something. Maybe it's the beginning of the life I actually wanted. A career I earned, a woman I chose, and someone beside me who isn't asking me to become smaller so she can love me. For the first time, that feels like enough. Epilogue. Clara. 6 months ago, I thought independence meant having my own apartment, my own bank account, my own schedule, my own life. I still believe in all of those things. I just don't believe I have to do everything alone anymore. My alarm goes off at 7. I turn it off. 5 seconds later, Ophelia's alarm goes off. I reach across the bed and turn that one off too. "Thank you," she murmurs. "You're welcome." Silence. Then, "Are you getting up?" "No." "You have work." "So do I." "I know." Neither of us moves. I smile into the pillow. This is the problem with living together. You discover that the terrifying marketing director who can make an entire conference room sit up straight is completely useless before 8 in the morning. Eventually, I get out of bed. Ophelia doesn't. I walk into the kitchen wearing one of her shirts. It's white, far too large. It reaches almost to my knees. I start making breakfast. A few minutes later, I hear footsteps behind me. Ophelia walks into the kitchen. She's wearing one of my oversized t-shirts. I turn around, then stare. "Is that mine?" She looks down. "Yes." "Why are you wearing my shirt?" "It was available." "You have an entire wardrobe." "I wanted this one." I narrow my eyes. "You're stealing my clothes." "I'm borrowing it." "You've been borrowing it for 3 weeks."
I've grown attached. I laugh. You have a closet full of expensive clothes. I know. And yet you're wearing my old t-shirt? She walks over and wraps her arms around me. It smells like you. My heart does that ridiculous thing it still does around her. I turn back to the stove. You're impossible. I've been told. By me. Frequently. I smile. This is our life now. Not dramatic, not perfect, just ours. I never expected to be the person who suggested living together. In fact, if someone had asked me a year ago whether I'd ever want to share my home with an alpha, I would have laughed. Then I met Ophelia, and everything I thought I knew about relationships started changing. It happens gradually. At first, I simply spend weekends at her apartment, then a few nights during the week. Then I realize I have clothes in her closet, my books on her shelves, my camera sitting permanently beside her television, my favorite coffee in her kitchen. One evening, I'm standing in her apartment looking at the growing pile of my things, and I say, "Wouldn't it be nice if we lived together?" Ophelia nearly drops her coffee. She looks at me. "What?" I laugh. I said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we lived together?" She stares at me. But? I thought you didn't want that. I didn't. You told me you wanted your own space. I do. You told me you wanted independence. I do. Ophelia looks genuinely confused. Then why are you asking? I smile. Because I still want those things. I walk toward her. But I also want you. She looks at me quietly. I take her hand. My idea of relationships has changed. How? I thought being with someone meant giving up pieces of yourself. She listens. I thought if I lived with an alpha, eventually I'd become someone's partner before I was Clara. Her expression softens. But you never asked me to do that. No. You never asked me to give up my career. No. You never asked me to get married. No. You've actually spent the entire relationship reminding me that I don't have to do any of those things. Ophelia smiles. Because you don't. I squeeze her hand. So maybe living together doesn't have to mean what I thought it meant. She looks at me. What does it mean now? I smile. That I'm spending 5 nights a week at your apartment. She laughs. That's true. My toothbrush is already there. Also true. My clothes are there. Several drawers. My camera is there. On my bookshelf. I raise an eyebrow. So technically, I'm already living with you. Apparently. This is simply more practical. Ophelia laughs. Then she leans forward and kisses me. Softly. Warmly. When she pulls away, she rests her forehead against mine. I love that you know what you want. I smile. And that you're not afraid to change your mind when something no longer makes sense. She kisses me again. I love that you don't cling to things just because you once believed they were necessary. I look at her. I still don't want to get married. I know. That hasn't changed. I know. And it might never change. I'll survive. I laugh. She squeezes my hand. I'd love to live with you. My heart jumps. Really? Very much. How soon? She thinks for a moment. How soon can you move in? I grin. Tomorrow. Tomorrow? I have boxes. She stares. You've been planning this? Maybe. She laughs. And that was how I moved in. Not because I needed her money, not because I was an Omega, not because someone had decided that my life would be easier if an alpha took care of me. I moved in because I loved her, because she loved me, because we made each other happier, and because sometimes independence means choosing the life you actually want instead of stubbornly holding on to the life you once thought you needed. My eggs are almost finished when Ophelia walks up behind me. She wraps her arms around me. You've been quiet. I'm thinking. That's dangerous. I laugh. Do you ever think about how different your life could have been? Her arms tighten slightly. She looks toward the window. Sometimes. I turn off the stove. Do you regret anything? She doesn't answer immediately. Then she shakes her head. No, nothing? Nothing that brought me here. I look at her. She reaches for my hand. I've fought for my career for a long time. I know. I spent years believing that success would finally make me feel like I belonged somewhere. I squeeze her fingers. And now? She looks at me. Now I come home to you. My throat tightens. She smiles. I think I finally understand that belonging isn't something you earn, it's something you find. Sometimes. Sometimes? She kisses the top of my head. It's something you build. I smile. Together? Together. I look around the kitchen. At our mismatched mugs, my camera on the counter, her laptop beside my grocery list, 2 sets of keys hanging by the door, her suit jacket over the back of a chair, my sweater on the sofa. Little pieces of 2 lives becoming one without either of us disappearing. I spent so long believing love would cost me my independence. Ophelia taught me that the right kind of love does the opposite. It gives you someone who wants you to become more yourself, not less. Someone who sees your ambition and doesn't compete with it. Someone who hears your fears and doesn't use them against you. Someone who doesn't need to own you to love you. I look at Ophelia, the terrifying marketing director, the woman everyone once whispered about, the alpha who built herself from nothing, the woman who was underestimated and still became extraordinary. She looks at me. What? I smile. Nothing. You're staring. I know. Should I be worried? No. I step closer. I'm just happy. Her expression softens. She kisses me. And for a moment, I think about the woman I was before her, the woman who believed independence meant standing alone, the woman who thought love would eventually become a cage, the woman who was afraid being someone's omega meant becoming someone's possession. She was wrong. Because here I am, still Clara, still ambitious, still independent, still building my own career, still making my own choices. Only now, when I come home, someone is waiting for me, and I get to wait for her, too. I wrap my arms around Ophelia. She holds me close. The terrifying alpha, the stubborn omega, 2 women who spent their lives proving they could survive alone, and somehow, against all expectations, discovered that surviving was never the same thing as living. Now we have a home. We have each other. And for the first time in my life, I don't feel like I'm giving anything up by calling somewhere home. I feel like I finally found it.
Thank you for listening to this story. Hope you enjoyed it. You can check out other books by Sasha Clinton, available on Amazon under the pen name Sasha Clinton. Also, check out my channel for more free lesbian romance audiobooks.